This is controversial TV news and the update from Nigeria government, the meeting that was held in Abuja, the capital of Nigeria, that what Nigerians will rise to 100.9 million if the government could not do anything about the subsidy removal. Let's hear from our correspondent.
Edition of the Nigeria Development Update on Tuesday in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. That implies that poor Nigerians will rise to 100.9 million if the government fails to compensate vulnerable citizens for petrol subsidy removal. On assumption of office, President Bola Tinubu introduced some economic policies, including petrol subsidy removal and foreign exchange window unification, resulting in a hike in the cost of transportation and prices of goods and services. Still, the World Bank report, which gave kudos to Tinubu's removal on petrol subsidies, is warning that if no measures are implemented to cushion the rising 22.41% inflation, insecure households will lose at least 5,700 income monthly. World Bank Country Director for Nigeria, Shuban Chaudhry, joins me tonight. Also on the program, reactions are trailing the World Bank projection, and the concern lies in what the federal government must do to mitigate the situation and avert the point, which we'll be speaking with our policy analyst Nachi Onoha on the show to share his perspective. Plus,
Chief of Defense Intelligence on a familiarization tour visit to the Ministry of Defense headquarters in Abuja. He solicited the support of members of the public towards achieving the mandate given to the nation's security forces.
God Almighty for the opportunity to serve our nation. I think that is what, even as kids, that's what we have looked forward to. And now the mantle to do that, to achieve that, has been thrown to us. Severally, I've told them, we have had several times, because of time we are serving punishment. We sit down together and grumble, things are not working, and this and that and that. And today, to the glory of God, we have been saddled with the responsibility to face those challenges and provide solutions. And we assure you that we will put in our very best. Our loyalty is no other way than to Nigeria. We want Nigeria to be peaceful.
In the delegation, the Permanent Secretary Ibrahim Kana congratulated the new service chiefs for their appointments, urging them to redouble their efforts towards ending insurgent activities in the country as mandated by Mr. President. Expressed the federal government's commitment to supporting the Nigerian military, other security agencies in maintaining internal security and counter-terrorism operations in the country.
Agencies in maintaining internal security and of course the counter-terrorism in our country. The service chiefs that we have here are veterans. They are tested and trusted. They have been to war fronts. Therefore, fighting terrorism and banditry is no news to them. Therefore, we commit ourselves that we shall continue to provide this support to our country.
The Permanent Secretary reminded the service chiefs that the country is expecting a lot from them following their recent appointments. In the meantime, the Nigerian Navy has reshuffled the appointments of top senior officers comprising 56 rear admirals and a commodore. The appointments are coming after the assumption of office of the acting Chief of Naval Staff, Emmanuel Ogala, who was recently appointed by President Bola Tinubu. In a statement by the Director of Information at the Nigerian Navy, Ayovon, Rear Admiral Olusoya Bankole, formerly the Director of Logistics, Defense Space Administration, is now appointed as the Chief of Communications and Information Technology, Naval Headquarters, while Rear Admiral Alexander Bingle, formerly Director Combat Policy and Tactics, is now the Director of Logistics Defense Headquarters. It further disclosed that Rear Admiral Ibrahim Deu, formerly Director Project Implementation, Monitoring and Evaluation Directorate, Naval Headquarters, is now the Chief of Defense Civil Military Corporation, Defense Headquarters, while Rear Admiral Kennedy Ezetse, formerly Director Project monitoring, Defense Headquarters resumes as the Chief of Administration, Naval Headquarters, among other appointments. The National Agency for Food, Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has alerted Nigerians to a batch of unwholesome Sprite 50 cl glass bottles circulating in the country. NAFDAC said the product was discovered following a consumer complaint received and investigated by the Post-Marketing Surveillance Unit of the agency. The agency said the investigation revealed that over 5 crates of the implicated batch of Sprite 50 cl glass bottles were discovered to be contaminated with particles. NAFDAC added that the product with AZ62232 batch number was manufactured on April 4, 2023. The agency said a comprehensive current good manufacturing practice inspection of the manufacturing site will be carried out to find the root cause of the contamination and ensure compliance to marketing authorization. NAFDAC implores distributors, retailers, and consumers to exercise caution and vigilance to avoid the consumption, sale, or distribution of the unwholesome product. The agency stressed that the product's authenticity and physical condition should be carefully checked. The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, says it remains undaunted in its prosecution of a former registrar of the Joint Admissions and Matriculations Board, JAM, Professor Dibu Ojerinde. In a statement by the Commission, Ojerinde used several false names and forged means of identification to perpetrate his corrupt practices through various bank accounts and still retains the resources and influence to evade justice. Meanwhile, Justice Obiora Iguatu, ruling in a fundamental rights suit filed by Professor Ojerinde, declared that the rearrest and continued detention of the JAM former helmsman was illegal, holding that the ICPC violated Professor Ojerinde's rights to personal liberty. However, the ICPC rejected the order to pay Professor Ojerinde 1 million naira in damages over his rearrest on January 26 on the court premises. Recall that the ICPC is prosecuting Professor Ojerinde for alleged 5 billion naira fraud. Some civil society groups want the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to pay more attention to the grey areas witnessed in the just concluded general elections with a view to nipping them in the bud. They also want the electoral umpire to embrace uploading of election reports immediately to reduce red tapeism. Political correspondent Omololu Rosongo has the details.
The 2023 general elections in Nigeria may have come and gone, but it is still eliciting comments from different players in the political space. This report presentation by the Human Rights Development, Advancement and Advocacy Center, URIDAC, one of the election observers, speaks to the positive and negative sides of the polls.